Welcome again, everyone, to my channel. Allow me to pose a question to you that may cause you to feel a little uncomfortable for a moment. Have you ever been near someone who woman sensed tension in her body and wondering what that meant right away? That slight alteration, that abrupt rigidity, or her respiratory patterns reveal a lot more than words could express. Since the body of a woman never tells lies, right now I'm going to reveal to you the true nature of her tension reveals. And believe me, once you recognize that you will never again gaze at her once more in the same manner. Prior to diving more deeply, please remember to like this video, press the bell, and subscribe. Due to I'm going to reveal something that isn't surface level dating guidance. It's a psychological issue. The truth, the tightening of a woman's body surrounds you, like her body language. The way her shoulders or jawline raise abruptly. It's not always about apprehension or rejection. Occasionally, it's about exposing of emotions. You have made contact with a nerve that she has yet to fully comprehend. Her body responds before her thoughts do up. Women are naturally protective, themselves not only from bodily risk, but from an emotional vulnerability. Her tenseness may indicate that she senses something strong, something that jeopardizes her authority. You see, in the presence of a male, a woman doesn't care about. She remains calm and aloof, far away. No emotional charge is present. However, when she is with someone who makes her body betrays her and her heart races, a hint of tension could indicate that she is anxious about her feelings. Not because she wants to, her body tightens, push you away. Yet she does so out of fear of what, if she doesn't, she might disclose. This is misinterpreted by most males. They believe she's uneasy or losing interest. However, frequently, the opposite is true. She is engaged in combat, her own feelings. Her subconscious is yelling, keep him from seeing how much he has an impact on you. That's when vulnerability and attraction clash. The majority of males are unaware of the fact that the tension a lady feels around you, can be the body's expression of its feelings. Intensity. It's her tacit method of stating, you're getting under my skin. Gaining proficiency in that language will comprehend her on a deeper level than just words never would. Let's now delve even more. Since most males come here, miss the signs entirely. That nuanced her body's tightness, the way her hands might move her legs or curl up a little without her understanding that it's not arbitrary. This is her subconscious speaking to you, showing the way she's thinking. Curiosity, desire, and even fear simultaneously. Women are adept at hiding, feeling, but their physique is incapable of deceiving. Her. If you know how, tightness may serve as a roadmap. To peruse it, this is something that most males never get a response. Tension isn't simply about feeling bashful or anxious. It's an indication of curiosity combined with an instinct for self-defense. When a female closes in on you, her unconscious mind is expressing, I wish to feel intimate, but I fear that I will lose myself in the process. Each flash and minute change is her body experimenting, determining whether she can put more than simply her trust in you. Dialogue. Observe her response when your energy levels are low, you lean in a little turns to face her. When your eyes lingers, a slight tensing of her muscles, an abrupt pause in breathing, or a change in her hips. These are the parts of her body that method of establishing limits while also admitting that you are attracted. Most males don't notice as their attention is on the words. However, her body is actually speaking, louder than her own words. If you learn how to properly understand this, you begin to notice the patterns that show whether she's curious, cautious, or yearning for connection in silence. And this is the kicker. She frequently displays tightness When there is a significant emotional risk, perhaps you made a bold statement. Perhaps you delicately caressed her hand. Or perhaps your presence alone created an emotion that cannot specify. She tenses up because it's pulling her in two different directions, attracted to you and wary of being too weak. This is where sentimental erotic tension is created without never having to step over any boundaries. The majority of guys panic during these times, interpreting it as denial. However, the most potent thing you can acknowledge it as fascination. Her body is tense, recognizing that she has feelings important, something she isn't yet able to command or completely express. Additionally, when you realize it, you start to perceive the female mind as a signal landscape, her body as the map, not just words moving directly to the reality of her, has feelings for you. Here's where attraction and psychology come together. Each and little response is a hint. Learn to observe, learn to feel, then learn to decipher. Due to realizing that this is what sets men apart, who cannot be seen by men who are not to be forgotten. Let's discuss the moment that most men totally miss. The halt, that brief moment of uncertainty when while she's moving, grinning, or chuckles gently. It's not arbitrary. It's her body's internal conflict signals. She is attracted to you, but she is assessing all of her instincts regarding safety, desire, and trust. That silence, that a glimpse of her, is revealed by her modest tightness. Mentality. If you can become aware of it, her attraction will be evident well before she never acknowledges it. This is a fact that many men don't understand. Women hardly ever show their feelings honestly. Their constriction is not uncomfortable. It's focus, anticipation, and curiosity, all bundled together into a single entity. As she gently tugs at her arm, nearer or her shoulders raise slightly fraction, she's unwittingly controlling her vitality, attempting to gauge how near she can give it to you without losing anything command. And this is where the majority of males fail to realize that tension isn't a denial. This is an invitation. Her physique is providing you with hints regarding her emotional state even before she speaks you. This must be viewed as though it were a map. Her movements of her body, the tiny tension in her muscles, the way her weight changed. Everyone is a stepping stone to her actual sentiments. Being perceptive will allow you to observe that when she feels secure, a portion of that stress dissipates, being replaced by softening of the jawline, slight openness, calm hands, a soft slant in your guidance. That's what she's telling you. Without using language that she can understand, you felt that the emotional boundaries are beginning to descend. However, this is where the majority of guys sabotage it. They also respond swiftly. They believe that her tightness is lack of interest, or they go too far because the signal was misinterpreted by them, the most intelligent. The key is patience. Allow her body to lead the speed. Allow her stress to naturally subside. Feeling emotionally secure allows a lady to tightness will change to subtle intimacy, such as that which is electric and captivating even when no words are exchanged. This is why it's important to read her body language. Has greater strength than a pickup cue or charm strategy. You can tell from her tiny signals who she is interested in, who she trusts, and who may emotionally irritate her. You'll begin to see trends and moments when she leans forward without realizing, when she looks, her respiration shifts. Stay a moment too long. That's her subconscious communicating directly with you, showing interest, longing, and relationship before she ever permits her to words to catch up. If you listen carefully, these signals are no longer negligible. They distinct men who don't show up in a life of a lady from men who abandon an enduring impression. Additionally, my true attraction starts with a friend. Let's now reveal one of the most misconceptions about the female body language. The way her constriction shows trust as well as attractiveness. The majority of guys believe that closeness is about touch, speech, or time spent with one another. However, it's actually regarding her body's comfort signals or the absence of it. A woman's tightening around, she's not merely responding to what you engage in physical activity. She's responding to the way she feels secure enough to share her inner the world. Every tiny tenseness in her posture, every tiny retreat she made shoulders is a gauge of her level of ready to reveal one's feelings. This is what most men completely overlook. Trust isn't binary. Tiny increments are used to measure it. Through the reactions of her body, a calm, a gradual blink, a relaxed jaw, a hand. These are clues from her subconscious, is, even though she hasn't, opening the door, spoke a single word. Tightness on the however demonstrates hesitancy. She's assessing whether to give in emotionally will expose her to danger. Additionally, this reluctance does not equate to rejection. It's her method of balancing safety and feeling a draw in your direction like a magnet. Consider it looks like this. In the presence of males, she feels disconnected from her body remains essentially mechanically neutral. However, with a man who elicits sincere curiosity, her body comes to life with subtle hints. Her constriction, her micro changes, even the way she breathes. They each one has a story to tell. Her body's vocabulary of I'm curious, I'm cautious though. That's the time where emotional danger and attraction coexist clash. Additionally, if you comprehend this, you acquire a distinct edge, understanding of her emotions before she even expresses them. And now for the psychological subtlety that transforms everything. Women's, the wiring of bodies is designed to safeguard first and second reveal. In other words, when she tightens, indicating her awareness of her feelings before completely embracing them, a competent man doesn't freak out or take this as a sign of indifference. He watches, he honors her bounds. His body relaxes, and he releases tension organically change into transparency. When you give, you get more than just her if you use her body to guide trust, but the intensity of the allure that originates from emotional security. This is the reason recognizing bodily tension is revolutionary. With each small change, each tiny stiffness provides a glimpse into her unconscious mind, an indication of how she strikes a balance between prudence, desire, and curiosity. The men who can clearly see it can react in a manner that beckons her in without pressure. Those who don't continue to unseen, failing to notice the quiet cues that might have shown her actual sentiments throughout. After you begin identifying these trends, each encounter turns into a map, one that reveals you cannot imagine how she feels or how much she is prepared to take an emotional risk. And in the end, it is the true secret most men are unable to learn. This is where the majority of males fail miserably. They notice how tight she is and fear. They presume rejection, overthink everything they do, or attempt to compel a reaction. However, the reality is that the strongest tension is frequently the most subtle sign that she is greatly impacted by you. Her body is indicating that something about you is important, something she is difficult to ignore or manage. Therefore, being aware of these indicators distinguishes regular men from those who become enduring. Let's shatter it down. The tightening of a woman's body is seldom regarding discomfort in the common sense emotional initiation. Her thoughts, her emotions, and your subconscious is responding to you. At the same time, she might grin and smile, but either the little strain in her shoulders or, that's honesty, her jaw. Her physique is expressing her interest in you, even if she isn't prepared to acknowledge it out loud. The majority of males never learn this language to read, which is why they stay invisible, but others manage to catch her attention with ease. An additional layer, too. This is a sign of expectation when a female body tenses, which frequently comes before a release, a state of calm that only when she is emotionally secure and linked. The tightening isn't its readiness, not opposition, it's her method of experimenting, of permitting herself to have a strong emotion while retaining some degree of control. The individual who is aware of this doesn't hurry her or take the tension as a sign of indifference. He watches, equalizes her vitality, and reacts in a manner that encourages her to allow proceed organically. That's where the real connection occurs without the use of words or large-scale actions, but through becoming aware of her subtleties, body. This is the main psychological wisdom. She never becomes tight at random. Attraction has an impact on it, curiosity as well as the subconscious assessment of whether you're reliable. As soon as you realize that, you are given a window into her inner life. Her unseen borders are visible to you. Sets, the tiny cues that indicate desire, and the emotional tendencies of the majority of males ignore completely. You begin to comprehend her without her having to describe, and it's a unique ability that instantly makes you more visible in her gaze. Additionally, this is where change takes place. The men who observe, who actually notices the minor changes, turn becomes a magnet. They don't pursue. They avoid pleading for attention. They react shrewdly to the quiet her body's communication, because once you realize that her constriction is a map of her feelings, you can traverse it with accuracy, endurance, and nuance. Using curiosity to tension into attraction, trust, and uncertainties into a sincere relationship. This is not a theory, it's psychology in movement, a method for interpreting the signals most men ignore them and use them for their own gain. Though subtle, that strength is unstoppable, and after you understand it, you won't ever engage with ladies in the same manner once more. Let's now disclose the last reality that transforms everything. The tightness of a woman is not merely an indication of interest or be careful. It's a reflection of her affects you on an emotional level. Each and every change, each tiny strain, each slight. The influence is reflected in the adjustment. Her subconscious is affected by you. The greater the influence, the more noticeable the strain, and the more you comprehend, the more adeptly you can direct the relationship without pressuring it, without words, without exerting any pressure. This is almost no man ever understands this. A woman is giving you something when she tightens. A test, not one that is aware, but an implicit indicator of safety. You are self-assured and aware. If you misread it, tension could turn into the distant. However, if you reply appropriately and patiently, small indications of emotional intelligence and assurance, that same tension changes into closeness, interest, and longing. It's the body's silent means of communicating with you. Even though I sense something here, I'm seeing your response to it. This is the cause of most men's relationship failures without even understanding the reason. They observe stress and respond impatiently, annoyance or impatience, lacking the entire point. The appropriate man notices it, senses it, and lets it direct his activities. He keeps up with her, recognizes her subconscious limits, and transforms the conflict into ease. He unlocks a level in the process, dazzling allure that most men can only imagine now. He's speaking more deeply psychological depth that goes beyond words. Consider her body to be a language, with delicate motions, constriction, and the alphabet is a tiny shift. After you gain proficiency in reading it, you know her better than most men ever could. You can see her hesitation, where she finds things fascinating, and where she's all set to connect. You observe the little signals prior to their expression as words, decisions, or actions, and that realization provides you with an imperceptible advantage, a calm, unquestionable control over her feelings and curiosity. Here's the conclusion. Then never minimize her tightness. Look at it, honor it, decode it, study the narrative. Her body is expressing trust to you, curiosity as well as attraction. The men who are not the most noisy, the swiftest, or most audacious. They are those who perceive the unsaid, comprehend the concealed, and reply with subtlety and insight. After you comprehend this, every contact becomes more lucid, significant, and significantly more strong. Her physique will demonstrate what her words cannot, and the key will be in your possession to interpret it. The final realization understanding the psychology of women that distinguishes common men from remarkable ones. If you can master this, you won't ever look at connection in the same manner.